All right, we are live in the playoff week one review, semifinal preview podcast. Tonight with me, I have currently two co-hosts, who will hopefully have a third in a second. First off, I'd like to introduce Jonathan. Jonathan, thanks for being back.
Thank you for having me.
Secondly, we also have Matt here, the owner of Stiff Arm.
How's it going? It's good to be back.
It's good to have you. Glad to have you on. Got you on this year. All right, a few reminders before we get into the meat of the podcast. Let's not forget non-playoff teams still in contention for the weekly high score. Just to show you, Lamico won it last week, so set your lineups and you can get some moolah.
Robbie.
Hey,
what up?
All right, and we have Schraub on the line now as well. Wow, this is awesome. This is the first four-way podcast in the PKFL. I love it.
Now it's a real hangout.
Yeah, this is like Red Zone. This is awesome.
All right. Okay, I was just giving an update. Other update was on the Wilson Bortles bet, which obviously I'm regretting at this point. Bortles puts up a great week with 26 points, but Wilson scores 32. So Josh extends his lead.
Is there money on this, Dave, just to remind us, or is it just pride?
No, it's pride, and it hurts. Losing any bet to Josh stings a little bit. But yeah, it's ever since I said it, the Wilson's been on fire. Unfortunately, I'm playing him against him this week with Schraub, so hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me even more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you guys gonna keep track of this for next season too, or what?
No, it was for the rest of the season from the time we made the bet.
Yeah. No, I know it's just for this season, but how about going forward? Like, would you change your mind?
Yeah, I guess I would at this point. I mean, I just didn't think Wilson was playing well at the time, and I looked at Bortles' schedule. I liked the schedule, and I thought it was a time to make a nice bet, but obviously I chose incorrectly because
it takes a lot for Dave to backpedal, and we discovered that Dave's a little too schedule dependent. Now, it doesn't really affect his fantasy team because he just has better players than everyone. So regardless of the schedule, he's already starting players that are better than everyone at every position every week. But we learned that if it was a pick'em, Dave might make the wrong call because of scheduling. That's what I learned from this bet.
Yes.
It's not really a factor this year because I still think Dave has about an 88.7% chance to win against anyone. It doesn't matter the way the rest of the games go, but
Well,
we're still going to try.
We'll go through the projections later because I have some commentary on that. But basically, unless Wilson goes down, and preferably he goes down this week with an injury, there's no chance I'm winning this bet because it's basically a full week lead, Josh, a full great week lead he has on me. So going into the waiver wire, some interesting moves happened since the last time. We kind of talked about some teams like the Lamica and the Pieces having some, what we would say, maybe garbage or not great pieces on the bottom of their bench. And they at least did some moves. Spitting Lamica picked up Rashard Matthews. Pieces picked up Kadeem Carey and Quick instead of having Welker and Marcel Reese on their bench. So at least they were listening to the podcast and made some moves. I like that. One other interesting thing I thought for sure either Matt or Schraub were going to make some moves to fill out their bench or their maybe even a flex this week, but Hugh Jessel did what I felt was a big favor for me, picking up Brown and Fozzie Whitaker, who I think could have filled into a flex position pretty nicely. Were Schraub, were you or Matt considering that at all?
Frankly, I've been tuned out for the past few weeks. I haven't been active, and I just did a couple of quick waivers for a kicker and hopefully improve defense this week. But that's about it. I saw the guy Blunt on New England is out, so that helps me. I got the two New England running backs playing.
Yeah, we got. You have both of their backs. We'll get into that when we get into your team. But
no, truly, I haven't been really terribly active.
And Matt, you weren't considering picking up either of those guys to help fill out your flex.
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like a crapshoot at this point. It's it's a risk either way. So I think I'm just going to kind of roll with what I've got for now, at least.
All right, that's the music to the Nate's ears, I think.
I don't know. I expect to lose this week. I said it in my projections, and it was a loss.
All right, we'll get into that in a second. So let's go into just review last week and how we got here. I should have pointed out the four guys on the call tonight are the remaining teams in the semis. So we'll go into week 14. It was Satan against the Jugs. Both Berto and I both picked Satan in an upset, but the Jugs just too strong. Wilson obviously on fire, like I said, 32 points. D'Angelo Williams, I mean, probably the pickup of the year in the draft, 21. Doug Martin with 14, and then you got the biggest
note of that. I just wanted to make a point real quick.
What's up?
There was a public roasting of the pickup of D'Angelo Williams at the spot where he was picked up, like a roasting. Like if you look back on on what was said in a podcast about the draft or right after the draft, it was like this: D'Angelo Williams, that must be the stupidest pickup of this round of the draft. It's fucking hilariously bad. And so I just want to give Schraub a little credit because at the time it was questioned on this podcast and also by me because I disagreed with you so much for picking up D'Angelo Williams in that spot that I would have said the same thing as I think Dave and Josh both said at the time. And congratulations, buddy. On that, you were correct.
Well,
you win.
I mean, if we flash back to the draft, though, to be clear, we said, oh boy, Schraub, what did you do? You have the echo again.
I didn't touch anything.
You must have touched something, because now I hear the echo.
Do you really? Everyone does?
Oh, yeah. Schraub, you're going to ruin this podcast. You got to dial back in or something.
It's always when you're on the podcast.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to put my microphone on mute and see if it turns off.
All right. So, anyway, yes, during the draft review, I definitely pointed out I thought it was an awful pick. It wasn't the fact that it was an awful pick. I just thought he could have gotten D'Angelo Williams probably in the fifth round of that draft because no one was paying any mind with Bell as the starter there to pick up D'Angelo Williams. It was more the timing in the second round of the pick when there's young talent available. Why do you go D'Angelo Williams? That was more my point. And I have pointed out that it was one of the best picks multiple times in the season, that it was a good pick.
Well, I hate to. What I meant was, A, I thought you guys blasted it. B, I agreed with you completely. I was like, they're right. Schraub's being an idiot. And by the way, Schraub did really well with that pick, and so now he's in the semifinals of this league. But I also thought, I had D'Angelo Williams on my sneaky list. After the first 6 rookies I was looking for, I was like, I'll just get D'Angelo Williams at the end because no one cares. But Schraub wanted the second pick where there's plenty of rookies, and he might win the league. He has a chance to win the league because he made that pick.
Oh, absolutely. If he doesn't have D'Angelo Williams, there's no way he's in the playoffs.
Schraub is done. Schraub is done. Then it's Berto, or I'm not even sure who takes the spot. But, D'Angelo Williams has been amazing, and Schraub was either smarter than us or got lucky. I'm not sure. I'm going to go with smarter than us.
I'll go with lucky. Sorry, Schraub.
When Bettis went down,
but Schraub's here now, so good for
when
him.
Bettis went down, I had to have him. I mean, who knew? I mean, who would have expected him to like carry my team this whole season? I mean, I certainly did. I figured I was done. That's why I went inactive. I haven't done nothing since he went
Yeah,
down.
I
And
can't.
I've just
Went
gotten
really
lucky that
old
he's
school, and I should have said bet it.
You have 4 quarterbacks. No one understands it. You have 4
Right.
quarterbacks, some of whom don't play ever, and yet you made this pick.
I
and
still
you
have Ray
fucking-
Rice on my roster. I mean, I'm still waiting for someone to pick up Ray Rice.
If you beat me this week with Zach Mettenberger and Ray Rice on your fucking roster, I really don't know what I might have to just quit fantasy altogether. I mean,
I can't tell if Schwab is, like
I'm a fantasy savant, is what it is.
yeah. Is he Rain Man or is he or is he just Nostradamus and he knows better than us?
well,
It's
either way,
definitely the latter. Definitely the latter.
You're carrying like 3 to 4 dead roster spots and your team is great and I don't understand it.
I'm
what
glad he
happens this
does
week.
because it could be better. That's the scary part.
Any given Sunday.
All right, back to that game. Tate was my biggest surprise of the week, scoring 20. I'm hoping he obviously doesn't do that this week. We picked up Hartline off waivers. He had 13, but he got hurt and he's out for the rest of the year. Overall, pretty solid performance by the Jugs. Wasn't really in jeopardy most of the time. Otherwise, on Satan, I mean, if it could have gone wrong, it went wrong for Rick. Picked the wrong quarterback. I think he predicted that last week on the podcast. Breeze outscored Roethlisberger by 11. I mean, the second running back, we joked. We went back and forth. I'm like, I kind of suggested he should start Spiller. Spiller scored a point, but he actually outscored Keisha, or whatever his name, Kerwin Williams, who only scored like .2. So that second running back spot is definitely come back to haunt Satan. And basically for me, that's since he's in the off-season mode right now, his whole concentration needs to be how do I improve my running backs? How do I trade one of these quarterbacks for running back? Or how do I draft like 6 rookies next year and hope one of them hits? You guys agree?
I mean, generally, yes, I agree.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's really all.
feel free to
I
add
guess it
color.
wasn't really that great of a question. It really wasn't really. I mean, the other disappointing thing. I mean, obviously he only got 9 points from Antonio Brown. He got a negative .3 from Emmanuel Sanders. I mean, oof, that's brutal.
By the way, I played Rick twice before. Each time he laid 140 plus on me. So I was amazed to see the same roster do nothing. Now, granted, I'm either tooting my own horn or I'm just saying something weird. But if you look at the stats, which are very odd, the most points scored against anyone were scored against me. In fact, in the regular season, I had more points scored against me than I had scored myself. And my point total is pretty high. So it's amazing. Everyone had a good week against the Nates, including Rick, who blew me out. We're each 30 or 40. I can't believe the way his roster performed against you, but I guess any given Sunday.
Yeah, his team definitely didn't show up. I mean, he had Baldwin, who had 26 points, but other than that, he had nothing.
By the way, how weird is Baldwin? Is that the like odd query of the entire like NFL, like or at least a fantasy? Like Baldwin is basically Des Bryant meets Demaryius Thomas for the last 3 weeks, but this guy's been in the league for 5 years. Like it never even mattered, and all of a sudden now he's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know where this has come from. I would try to trade high on him if I had him, and
Like
I know trades are over, but
trades are over. But like Baldwin or Odell Beckham. Baldwin's a little bit better than Odell Beckham right now. It's just crazy. Anyone, he's just better than everyone. Crazy.
well, I hope not this week because that means Wilson's doing pretty good. So
Well, I mean, is it just really a product of Russell Wilson playing so well right now, or?
I mean, yeah, I mean he's been the best quarterback in the league the last 4 weeks. So I mean he's had like over a 140
Pretty
rating the
good.
last 4 weeks. What was that?
I said Cam Newton has not been bad. I mean, you might want to think about Cam Newton when you talk about the best quarterbacks in the league. That's all.
No. I'm saying I'm going by the stats the last 4 weeks. I mean he's been unreal. Anything else on that game, Schwab? What were your thoughts going through the weekend?
I figured I was going to lose, and I just got lucky. His team did poorly. I mean, C.J. Spiller was awful. Sanders awful. Worked out well. Roethlisberger 10 points. Stewart 14. I mean, worked out well. Brown only 8 points.
I mean, I think you put up 130 something, didn't you?
Yeah. I mean, my team performed. I mean, Wilson put up a 30 spot. Williams 21 points. Martin has come back to life, which has helped me out. So I even got 19 points out of Golden Tate, which I can't count on anything from him really. So not so bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, congrats on that. The other game, the Nates against the Sharks. Again, Berto and I both picked the upset, but neither upset happened. So the Nates won that one also pretty comfortably. Newton, as Jonathan just said, another great game. Gurley, 29 points. I mean, that's pretty sick. The Panthers D scoring 23 was also key for me.
Jonathan, remind me, Jonathan, what was the trade we did last year? You got Cam Newton from me. Who did you give me back?
Golden Tate, Kyrie Robinson were the two key pieces. Now, Golden Tate was actually excellent for you last year.
Yeah, well, yeah. And who else was it?
Sorry?
Who was
Kyrie Robinson after an injury, so Kyrie Robinson looked like the starter.
Right.
And Golden Tate, who was doing really, really well with Megatron out, and
Right.
Golden Tate was also awesome all year.
Yeah, he
those
was.
were the pieces. It was those two and garbage for Cam Newton.
Right.
I feel pretty good about that trade, Rob.
We ripped that trade last year. Newton wasn't even playing that well, and we still ripped that trade last year, if I recall.
Well, I needed to get something back. I mean, I was sitting on him. I wasn't playing him.
I know, but our point was you could have gotten more, I think.
No, I don't know. Nothing seemed out there. But anyway.
But it was a quarterback Schwab wasn't playing, and so he was willing to deal him for something. And by the way, Golden Tate averaged like 12 points down the stretch last year, and actually propelled Schwab. So it wasn't a bad trade for him, but it was sort of a now trade.
Yeah, well, that's the point. At the time, I felt pretty good about it, and last season it worked out okay. But now, late in this season, I can't remember who the hell I got from you. I just look at you're in the playoffs with Cam Newton leading the charge, and I'm just kind of like, geez, I gave you Cam Newton. So,
but again, you sold low on Newton. He wasn't having the best year up until that point.
He was looking garbagey, but I was sitting with RG3 being like, this won't work. This won't work. RG3's not doing it.
Yeah. And my point is, you got to get more for Cam Newton. He's a top 5 quarterback in fantasy. I mean,
did you give me RG3 back?
No, I just cut RG3.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you have him, maybe you don't. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just like the Redskins should.
Okay.
So, Jonathan, were you? I think you were worried going into the week, but how did you feel going into like Sunday afternoon?
I feel the same way talking about my team as you do about your team, Dave, in the sense that you won't say anything about your team, so I will not try to say too much. But I was worried from the streak of me leaving 20 or 30 points on the bench every week because my flex calls are so hard. I don't even know who's going to win. But I felt like I would probably win because my team's like, better than Josh, just better. I felt like I should win unless God hates me, and as a Jets fan, sometimes I feel like God hates us. But then everything went the way it was supposed to. I mean, some people just laid an egg, but then some people that could be awesome were awesome. And I mean, you never expect that much from a defense, but from Cam at this point, I'm happy to have Cam. And from Gurley, I mean, I think this is probably a top two, top three dynasty back that the Nates are going to have for a nice, like, 8 or 10 years. And great players are supposed to do great things, you know? I mean, Dave, you have Adrian Peterson, who's out of this world because I traded him to you for Hopkins and Murray. I don't regret the trade, neither do you. You know who's better than Todd Gurley by a lot? Adrian Peterson, at least for the next year or two. So we're both pretty happy about it. But I expect Todd Gurley to be Adrian Peterson light, and this week he was. He just was.
Yeah, I mean, he showed some flashes earlier in the season. He was in a little bit of a rut, but I mean, a 29-point performance obviously is pretty damn good.
He's just a guy that can put up 20. He can put up 20 to 35 points whenever. You don't even know. He's just one of those guys.
Yeah, I think his future is really bright. I think right now he's a little bit of a matchup-based starter, meaning a 29 if he's got a good matchup and a 12 if he maybe doesn't, which is still good either way. But I think, to your point, in a year or two he is, if not next year, definitely the year after, the number one pick in every redraft league. So it's a great job getting him.
Well, thanks. That just means having the first pick and being correct. But I'll still take the credit. Thank you.
It didn't mean you didn't have to take the right guy. I mean, there were other people that might not have taken Gurley because of the injury and whatnot. But all right, on to the Sharks. I mean, Palmer had a good game. Marshall had a good game with 20. Jeffrey had 19. Those three guys had, 43, 62 points of the, I don't even know what. They didn't put up that many this week, so everyone else pretty much stunk. I mean, Javoris, Allen, and Sims had 10 points at the running back combined. That's not going to get it done. And Diggs and Bryant had 6 from the flex, so that's not going to get it done. I think, Josh, the injury to Lynch was just too much to overcome, and there's no way he's going to beat the Nates, who are just too deep. Anyone have comments on the Sharks or thoughts about how their team is set up for next year since they're out of it? I know Josh has said some harsh critiques of maybe Matt Schwab's team. You guys have anything to bite back to Josh about, or?
I don't know. I mean, he's got some potential, but I don't know. I mean, his team's nothing special.
Wow. Now that has, first off, great review there, Schwab.
I don't know. Matt Ryan, quarterback, sitting there on the bench. Carson Palmer is not, he's not any kind of long-term solution.
I think it's.
You're really bad at talking shit, Schwab. Is this like a book factor that you can't do it, or you just don't know?
Matt,
all right. Well, on that note, I gotta jump out for a little bit. I got some domestic duties I gotta take care of. I'll be back in a little while.
All right, get back for our game because I want to review it.
All right.
All right, that's interesting. All right, so with that said.
Sorry, Dave. Yeah, I was just going to say, I mean, I think for Josh's team, I think it's kind of a problem that a lot of the, teams that haven't made the playoffs and are vying for them, kind of have to improve on. honestly, myself included, is really depth. So, you get bit with those injuries, and then it kind of crushes your team. You're obviously the example of, what to do, and, you got bit by the injury bug, and it didn't really end up hurting you.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, depth. We've talked about it all year. I mean, we are a 12 team league now, so obviously it's a little thinner out there. But you got to get those young guys. You got to build depth. You got to take those lottery tickets. I mean, and just hope. I mean, you're not going to hit on every one, but if you hit on a few and you add it to your core, you got a better chance. All right. As I said, I was 0-2 in the picks last week, 28-22 on the season. I thought it was interesting. I was going through. I tracked the high score winner, but I also tracked the tough luck loser. Jassol, tough luck loser 3 times. Stash, also tough luck loser 3 times. Satan twice, Sharks twice, and then the Nates, Maulers, JR, and Jugs all once. So a little split up there. There was one team, the Jugs was the only team ever that I remember that would have beat all 10 of the other teams. So that's like the ultimate tough luck loser if you would have beat every other team playing. All right, let's get into this week. We'll talk about your guys' matchup, the Nate Stiff Arm matchup this week. Let me give a little preview. Just a reminder, Stiff Arm gets the 3-point home field advantage. I've already put it in, so you should see it on the site. The Nates won the only meeting, 105-97 in Week 8. If they played every week, Nates held an 11-3 advantage, which actually, when I looked that up, I mean, that's pretty impressive. I just realized I didn't update the 2 other stats. I mean, what do you guys think? That's I didn't until I just read that, and when I wrote it down, the 11-3. I mean, that is pretty strong. You go to that breakdown stat. If you guys face each other every week, 11-3 advantage, pretty strong.
Yeah, I don't know, John. Like, you said you had me winning this week, but obviously, talked to Dave briefly before, and once we get to the points, I do not have myself winning, and we'll get into, I guess, why. But clearly, it's a stat that shows
as a fan of Rutgers and the Jets, I do believe in jinxes and the like. And so there's no chance I'll actually say I think I'm going to win this week. But I do think it's going to be a close game, Matt. I've had, there's a lot of luck. My team is extraordinarily variable. Like, my team, no matter who I start, could put up 85 or 140. And I don't know better than you do who's going to do it and what combination will do what. Because that's the kind of – I feel like I have talent that might have a higher ceiling, but whoever I pick could be wrong in a really, really dramatic way. And so I just don't know. So let's say that I think it's a toss-up and your 3-point advantage might carry you to the win.
That would be nice. I mean, that would be a first, right? I don't believe the points have made a difference yet.
No, they haven't. I was thinking about that, and I also, I mean, I don't even know if 3 points is.
Rob.
I don't know if how we came up with 3 points, to be honest with you. I think it was different when we had the 2 rounds and it made sense. 6 in the first round, 3 in the championship game. But I feel like the top 2 seeds, a 3-point advantage isn't really that much. We might have to review that in the off season, to be honest with you.
You guys talking about this bullshit 3-point advantage?
I'm not referring to it as bullshit, but I was actually saying it should be more. But yes, we are talking about that.
No, I mean, I like it where it is, but whatever. We can talk about that in the off season. That's not what.
Yeah, that's definitely an off season topic. So let's get through. Just so everyone on the podcast knows, I asked Berto, Jonathan, Schraub, Matt, and Josh all to give point projections, along with myself, and obviously we have the CBS projection. So we'll kind of go through it. We have some outliers that I kind of want to talk about. In the stiff arm Nate's matchup, the site has the Nates winning. I have the Nates winning 106-89. Berto has the game 100-86. Jonathan has it. Actually, Jonathan, you have yourself winning 104-102.
No, that's without the 3-point advantage.
I didn't add the
Great
3-point
scores.
advantage.
That's +3, so Matt wins.
All right. Well, I wasn't doing the +3. I mean, obviously we know the +3, but so you have yourself losing by 1. You have the points coming into play. That's interesting. Schraub had a 120-116 final. Matt has himself losing 108-95, and Josh had a kind of a blowout 121-91. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the Nates, 2 for stiff arm.
I have the Nates winning by 1/100th of a point.
Yeah, I saw that you put those decimals in there. I didn't do that when I.
Wait, after the 3 or before
Yes.
the 3? Okay.
After the 3.
So, but I don't know. We can get into the game, but it's really odd anyway to even contemplate how people got to me winning or losing, because my lineup is so interchangeable. It could be based upon people different than who I may or may not play. For example, like Dave, I may change my lineup for the one that you put in.
Well, guys, I got to prepare for this podcast, so I can only go by what you had set in the lineup.
Yeah.
I was going to go through the key bench players, but yeah, obviously I can't predict every possibility that you can put in. To be honest with you, most of the other teams don't have anyone else. The Jugs and Stiff Arm, to be honest with you guys, I don't see who else you could put in, to be honest with you. Yeah, Nate, you have some choices. I have some choices. I got to make a stand and do it what was on the site, so.
It wasn't a critique. I just said it was interesting.
No, but that's where you should be pointing out. I mean, I agree. Do you keep Jeremy Hill on the bench? Does Matt Jones stay on the bench?
I mean, I don't know, and I know if he's given the advantage, it doesn't really matter because it doesn't really change what Matt's going to do. But I'm very curious about, what do I even think of Jeremy Hill, who's, a really, really low floor, high ceiling player. Andy Dalton's all messed up. So that means they're going to run the ball more, or that just means they're going to suck. If they suck, it's terrible to play Jeremy Hill. If it means that they're going to run the ball 45 times, then Jeremy Hill is an amazing play. Which way does it go? And does anyone know the answer? Probably not.
I don't think we do. I have him in another league, and I cringe every time I put him into the starting lineup. And every time I don't, he scores 2 touchdowns. Stiff Arm, I did have some questions on your lineup, actually.
Yeah.
You got Ware in there. I'm not even sure he's 100% sure to play, and I don't know if Clay is sure to play. So have you taken that into account with your lineup? Are you looking for backups just in case? I don't want to just give a win to the Nates this week.
No, not at all. I mean, there are some positions, obviously, based on injury, I may not have many choices here. I may have to actually play a little bit of the waiver wire.
Well, that was my point. Why didn't you try to get Fozzie Whitaker or Bryce Brown?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess as of today, Blunt's out for the season, so I was actually hoping that he might be able to play this week, but that's definitely a blow.
Yeah, it's too bad.
Was that sincere, Chub, or was that sarcastic? I couldn't tell.
Not sincere.
You're like, oh, that's too bad. But yeah, I'm just maybe making a call out. I don't want any pushover wins for sure. So keep an eye on Ware and Clay, because I'm not sure they're 100% guaranteed to play. Same thing on true. I saw that Jonathan got Eifert out because I don't know if he's 100% to play. Picked up Miller. I saw that. I guess he's better than Ebron. I don't know which one is better, to be honest with you. I'm sure whoever you bench is the one going to score more. But
most of the experts think that Miller's better. That's a fact. If you were to look on sites. But given the Nate's luck, Ebron will outscore Miller if I play Miller. And Ebron will, whoever's on the bench is probably going to be better. Really, we needed Eifert, but we're not going to have him. I assume Eifert's chances of playing after being in a concussion are less than 5%. So I'm playing a crappy tight end, and now I'm playing crappy tight end roulette, which is no better than what Matt's playing. Like, he could beat me, I could beat him on the tight ends. Nobody knows.
Well, to be honest with you, you beat him to the waiver wire because he should have gotten Miller if he was playing the waiver wire as well. So you guys have any other thoughts? I mean, when I go through it, Gurley has a tough matchup against that number 2 Tampa run-D. Taylor, who's Buffalo? Oh, they're playing Washington, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think you're stiff arm. You need a huge game out of Taylor, obviously. Fitzgerald, Cobb, can he get more consistent for Christ's sake? I mean,
I know it's been rough.
He got some catches this week, but again, can he find the end zone? I mean, you need Cobb to at least get a touchdown. He has to get a touchdown this week for you to have a chance, I feel like. DeMarco Murray, I mean, what the fuck is going on with this guy?
I have no clue. I really didn't want to play him at this point, but...
Yeah. I mean, you're running. We go back to your depth comment. I mean, I don't know who else you could put in besides him. I mean, suddenly the Eagles are resting his legs for what? I don't know. But did you see that quote?
No, I missed that one.
So this is highly unusual. But before we exit the game, I'm literally going to ask. Now, I won't take Matt's opinion because I don't think there are perverse incentives here. But Schraub and Dave, if you're me and you're looking at my team, and you say, what do I do between playing like Sammy Watkins, Jarvis Landry, or Darren McFadden, or Matt Jones? What do you do? To me, they are so potentially close in what they could do. It's something I've already debated at least 40 times. But if you don't want to give an opinion on this podcast, you don't have to. I just wonder what you would do if it was you and you're not competing against me.
It's what we go back. I mean, we knew you were going to have these tough choices, so.
I always like going with the running back. I just feel like I'd rather take the generally more consistent points than the just. With the wide receiver, it's basically you're just it's potluck what you get.
Totally agree, Schraub. By the way, Jarvis Landry had 16 targets last week, and like 2 the week before for 5 yards. So,
how many touchdowns does Landry have on the season? Though he's another guy that doesn't score touchdowns. I feel like.
No, not touchdowns. Just target monster. Just averages 13 targets a week.
But I'm saying sometimes that's all well and good, but if you don't get in the end zone,
high floor, low ceiling on Landry. Not that many big weeks. Almost always has 8. Just put him for 8 and hope for more. That's what Landry is.
Yeah, I'm looking at his score. You're right. He's kind of like that. When he gets in, he gets the 20-point game. When he gets the touchdown, when he doesn't, he's around 10 to 12 points.
Yeah, I mean, the thing looking at McFadden, I mean, someone's got to run the ball for Dallas. Now, the problem is they're playing the Jets, and I think the Jets are going to eat them up alive.
Yep. So if the Jets blow him out, then McFadden's not going to do much. But otherwise, McFadden generally gets his yards. He's not big on touchdowns either, but he gets a lot of yards.
Yeah.
I think Schraub's point is the Jets have one of the best run Ds in the league.
Yeah, I mean, the Jets are playing well right now.
Yeah, you see the way my lineup is set. McFadden's not in there.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, did you change it?
I did.
Damn you! You got to give me a heads up for the podcast.
My lineup, if you look at it, is different than the one you reviewed
Damn it!
a few hours ago.
Let me take a look now. I can't keep this up to the minute.
Sorry.
All right, let's see here. Who did you change? You got Newton, Gurley, Murray, Hop. I mean, those guys are all definites anyway. Watkins, number 2, Miller. So you got Hill and Landry basically in the place of McFadden, and
So you got Jeremy Hill over McFadden.
Correct.
yeah, Jeremy Hill over McFadden is basically what you did, right?
Yeah, I guess that's.
Against the Jets defense. Then it's
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Jeremy Hill
Well,
playing at
it's also-
San Francisco.
It's Jeremy Hill and Landry over McFadden because either one could be replaced by him. But after the enormous amount of targets that Landry got last week, I'm thinking about playing him over McFadden.
And San Diego doesn't scare anyone on defense.
Correct.
And Jeremy Hill has the 49ers, so I mean, come on. I mean, I honestly, I think that is probably the best lineup you could put out there since you asked the question. I mean, the tight end you still have to watch on that. I mean, hopefully Eifert comes back, but as of right now, that's probably the best lineup you can put out.
Well, we'll see what it does. Good luck, Matt.
And Matt, on your side, I also think it's because I mean, there's not like you have tons of bench players to throw in there. I mean, the one thing I was going to ask about was the Bengals D over the Chiefs D.
Yeah, I actually do have the Bengals in there now.
No, well, I'm looking at it right now. I still see the Chiefs.
Yeah, I just updated it.
Come on.
I was actually going to do it the other night, but
I just hit refresh when Jonathan made his point, and you made an update since then.
Yeah. No, I was going to make the update last
guys are
night,
killing
but it didn't let me until the waivers ran.
All right, now I see it. Oh man. Oh, actually, yeah, you made a few changes here.
Yeah.
You got Willie Snead in there for. So wait. All right. See, this is where I don't know if you're getting crazy. I mean, actually, the matchup is awful. DeMarco Murray on the bench. I mean, this is just if you said this in week like 2, people would have thought you're nuts. But I don't know how much I can argue against it.
Yeah, I have absolutely no confidence in him right now. I mean, if it was even just a few weeks ago, he started to look like himself again, and he kind of just dropped off. So.
I mean, in the end, you'll have to watch the Ware. I don't know if he's going to actually play, so
you
might end up having to put Murray in there for Ware anyway. But again, I guess with the lineup you have, I don't know what else is out there on the waiver wire, but
yeah, I mean, Snead tends to get a decent amount of targets, so. He can do some damage. If he has a good game.
Yeah, I like Snead. I like him in there.
So a long-term question, Matt. Are you a believer in Tyrod Taylor or what?
I did draft him with the hope that he could be the future. If not, if he doesn't end up panning out, obviously, maybe something in next year's draft or some waiver wire pickup down the line, but for now, I believe he's my guy.
I can't believe Romo he's not a franchise quarterback, and not a fantasy franchise quarterback for sure. I mean, he's going to come back and play, we know that, but I mean, he's one hit away from another broken shoulder.
Yeah, I think there were 2 weeks I believe I actually used him, and both of those weeks, like one of the weeks, I believe both of those weeks were the weeks he got injured. So not good luck.
No, Taylor's been pretty good.
Any other questions for Matt or on that matchup? I mean, even Matt's, I think, saying he doesn't have that much confidence on the win, but I think it'll be closer than Jonathan probably wants it to be. So hopefully it's a close matchup, and I'd love to see that 3 points come into play. To be honest with you, and not in my game.
Who would have thought that a playoff team in our league would be starting both Jets running backs. Pretty good. Pretty good for Jets fans.
I'm a
It's
Jets
good for
fan.
Jets fans. It's not good for stiff arm.
No, not exceptionally great, but it's still kind of cool.
And actually, it's a great point. I didn't even catch that. I saw Powell, but I wasn't even catching that he had Ivory too. Actually, looking at it, you're going to have to find a way to get Murray in your lineup, whether it's Ware or Powell, because I don't know. This can turn into a blowout real quick.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
I happen
I
to
don't
think
know.
the Jets are going to win. I just think it's difficult to say which running backs are going to have which points. Powell has been great the last few weeks. It's just
Yeah,
been
I mean, he's actually outscored Ivory, a couple of times. So I don't know. It's last week I believe they combined for like 26 points. So if you can consider the flex guy, like around 10ish, that would give 16 to one of your running back positions. That's not terrible, at least.
I think the Jets are going to destroy Dallas. So they're just going to.
I see it like 35-3. So I don't think Dallas is going to do much.
Wow, you guys are obviously not Jet fans.
I'm a Jet fan. I hate
the
Dallas.
Jets don't blow anyone out.
It's going to be a lot of fun Saturday night.
Guys, unfortunately, I have to run, but I'm sure you guys will do a great job finishing this up. But let me say this. Unfortunately, Schraub, although the Nates are rooting for you, they see Dave winning pretty big. I just don't see a way around it. Dave's team's too good. I don't know if Matt or I will be the mincemeat for Dave next week. I just don't see, absent like something weird happening, like maybe a comet hitting a stadium that like douses Dave's players, who even picked up Hightower a week early. He just has all the players everyone wants, and good for you. Anyway, the Nates are out of here, but good luck to all. I'm rooting for you, Schraub. Matt, not so much, but I still like you. I got it.
All right, Jonathan. Thanks for joining on.
Take it easy, man.
All right, so we need to go into the other matchup. Schraub, the Jugs against the Maulers. Again, we had all those predictions. Let's kind of run through them quick. CBS had the Maulers 126 over Jugs 104. I didn't. I had a dead tie. I'm taking the 3 points and taking the win there. Berto had a 111-110 Maulers win. Very close. Jonathan 134-104. To his point, he's got a blowout. Schraub, you have a tie, I believe.
Really?
With the points?
With the points, Schraub has a tie.
No, it's a win. I win by 0.02 of a point.
Oh, I didn't carry the points, the decimal points over, so you have a decimal point win. Matt has a 115-99 win for the Maulers, and Josh has a 123-111. So it's a 6-to-1 edge to the Maulers on predictions here. Schraub, you had that .002 win. The one number that jumped out to me, you had Brady with 12 points. Why?
Yeah, I mean, let's be clear. I mean, you got the better team. There's no doubt about it. I need things to break my way. I need my players to play well, and I need a couple of your guys to lay some serious eggs. That's what it comes down to. Brady's been friggin' solid all year. I mean, I'm looking at his points each week right now, and I see he had 1 week that he scored 14 points. Last week he scored 18 points. That's the kind of week I need out of Brady. I need him to kind of really underperform. I need McCoy to break a leg. I need Gronkowski to fall flat with Brady. So that's what I need. So if that happens, then I have a fighting shot.
Yeah, the one interesting thing for me, it's right on that point. the Brady Gronk flop. If that happens, obviously, yeah, I'd be in some trouble. The interesting thing about that is that you have the Bolden White running back combo. If they run all their touchdowns in, you're
Yeah.
going to be in great shape. If they throw all their touchdowns in, I'm going to probably be in good shape. So I think that I'm going to be watching that game pretty damn closely on Sunday because I think that's going to literally it could make or break our matchup.
Yep. Yep. A low-scoring game, and it's a different contest.
I just don't know. Like the site has them both, I think, projected at 11 points. Is there that many points in the backfield? I guess to your point, if they run them in, if one scores 2 touchdowns and the other one scores 1,
Yeah.
I guess there's 22 points to be spread between them. But again, I guess I have to root for Brady to be throwing them in. Even if he throws them to White, I'll be fine. But if they run him in, I could be in some trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm looking here on the Edelman little blurb. It says now he might play. So I don't know if it looks healthy. Maybe I'd stick him in place of one of the running backs. But we'll see.
Which one though? That's the thing about the New England. You never know friggin' which one to.
Right.
I actually almost like the putting them both in because you don't know which one's going to get it.
Exactly. That's we'll see.
Plus, like Dave said, counteracting, so depending on whether they're running or passing the ball,
But I don't see how you could bench. If Edelman plays, he almost has to play for your team. So I assume that would mean Tate would go to the bench. Like I'm trying to figure out your lineup here. I mean, there's not many other options.
I don't think so. I think I got to play Tate.
I don't know how you bench him after last week. And again, it's another one. Your lineup is very interesting in comparison to mine because Tate, same team as Megatron. If they go to Tate and they don't go to Megatron, I'm fucked. If they go to Megatron and they don't go to Tate, you're fucked. So.
Yeah, I mean, just to be. Yeah, I mean, if Megatron goes wild for you, then I'm pretty much done. Not everyone on your team is going to lay an egg. So there's going to be a couple players that score big for you. We know that. I'm just look at Brady and I just hope he doesn't go big. But for my team, I mean, I need Russell Wilson to put up a strong week. And I need my 2 running backs, Williams and Martin, to put up better than expected points. Then just hope for the best with the rest of the team.
I think Martin has he is the Thursday game. That's always a little sketchy, that Thursday game, just because they have less time to prepare. So I got to hope that somehow hurts him. But he's playing St. Louis. I don't know what their rank is against the run. I think they're a pretty decent defense. I'm not actually sure. So that'll be I don't know. I don't think I have any Thursday. That'll be the first player to play for the game. So we'll have to see. You have him in a Thursday game, and that's it.
Yeah, if he comes out and lays an egg on Thursday night, then I don't know. It's gonna be a tough. It's gonna be a real tough Sunday, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if he puts up in the team, like if he puts up an 11, 12, even a 13, I think you're fine. I mean, if he puts up a 7, you're probably in trouble.
Yeah. Yep. That's about it.
Jonathan. Matt, what is I know you've had your prediction here, but you see any chance of the upset? Or?
I would probably give you like an 80% chance of winning. And I think it's kind of been a common theme across the season is that your floor is just so low. So I think even if you do have some bad games, it's going to balance itself out. You're not going to have a terrible week. Although, if you looked at this week, you actually scored under 100 points this week.
Oh,
so,
believe me, I was looking at that very closely. I mean, I would have lost to 6 of the 12 teams this week, 3 of the 4 playoff teams. So, yeah, I mean, this week was a prime example. If my team doesn't show up, your team has to show up. Names on a piece of paper. My team sounds great when you read it off. Brady, AP, McCoy, Robinson, Megatron, Gronk, Thomas, Forte. I mean, it sounds like an all-star team, but if they don't show up, you lose. I mean, I would have gotten crushed by Schwab this week.
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
All
Hey
right.
guys, I gotta jump. I got stuff I gotta do here with the kids.
All right,
So-
we got to wrap it up anyway. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining. Good luck this week, and I will talk to you all, I guess, next week.
All right, take care, guys.
All right, good luck, guys.
See
Easy.
you soon.
Bye.
Bye.